Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, whatever time it is for you. I'm Cyclone. It's time for more Let's Play Train Simulator Classic. Let's not even waste time here. We're just going to go straight to part number 2, the Berkshire. Continuing driving the Midday Express towards Boston. And I kind of made a comment about named trains last time. This is a named train, the Berkshire to Boston. Let's get started. The dragging equipment has been cleared. And apparently we moved up slightly as well. We are ready to depart towards Worcester, the major city in mid-state Massachusetts. We are only 5 minutes behind schedule. Shame. So we should arrive in Worcester almost on time. Close this window to continue or scroll down for additional information. Yeah, let's get additional information. Why not? While we start uphill for most of this run, we will have a downhill gradient. I read that in the wrong order because there's no comma. I should have put emphasis on a break there, but there was no comma, so I couldn't do that. After we make our stop in Charlton. To maintain a safe speed, the use of dynamic brakes built into this model of the PA1 locomotive is recommended. Wow. In order to set up this braking system, if driving within the cab, what the heck? Once at the desired speed, reduce throttle to 0 and pull the selector handle at the rear of the control stand towards the right to the dynamic braking setting. After a brief pause, the tractor meters will begin to provide retarding force. I hope that doesn't get me blocked using that word. The amount of braking force can be controlled by adjusting this same handle. The dynamic brakes may also be accessed with using the F3 and F4 heads-up displays if outside the cab. To again add speed, move the selector handle to the motoring position and add throttle. Or how about I just put a brake on and go well under the speed limit? I can do that as well, can't I? There should be no other messages down here. That should be it. So let's go ahead and get started. So let's bring all this breakage off. Let's put the throttle in forward, or the reverser in forward. Let's get moving. We have time to make up. So leaving East Brookman, we are on our way to Charlton. So our speed limit leaving the station was 65, quickly down to a 55. So 55 is our speed limit for the duration of this section that we are currently in. Now the time told us that we had till 14:24, or at least maybe we didn't see that yet. Okay, I might have given you a preview of that. I think it said something about 14:24. We're actually only have till 14:23. So don't get too comfortable if you see a 14:24. You will be late if you arrive at 14:24. There it is. Our next scheduled stop is Charlton. Due to the delay, our expected arrival time is now 14:24. That's wrong. Right there, 14:23 arrival. I can confirm you will be late if you arrive at 14:24. I know this because I overshot the platform. That's how. I should have cut that video and just started a new one, left that for the blooper reel. That would have been the smart thing to do, but oh well. So because we're trying to make up time, I'm literally pushing the speed a little harder than I normally would. This is a freight train. Notice the caboose there. We're now going to pass a bunch of freight cars. So yeah, seeing this kind of thing, this is the hallmark of a Gary Dolezal scenario. He tries to get a train on another track so you get to do something with that other train as a visual. This is a trademark of his. So Gary definitely made these scenarios. So this is the eastbound Charlton FRT. There it is. As you can see, he and I both have a green signal. So everything is perfectly normal for both of us at this time. One of us will get a yellow. Only for this stretch of the journey, I'm trying to maintain the speed right around 55. I want to make sure I don't lose too much time since we're already behind. There's a 45 up ahead. The winner of the race has been declared. We have a green, they have a yellow. We have a good enough uphill gradient that I'm going to try and do this without brakes if I can. So I'm going to let the speed just drop. Oh, that's a heck of a drop, actually. Keep the throttle on a little longer, please. Let's move the brake into a running situation, because it should have been in running already. Oh, that's why it was... okay, never mind. We'll bring it off now. And there we are, a nice and controlled drop to 45 without using the brakes. Keeping our precious air. So I'm going to bring our speed down again about a quarter of a mile away from the platform, moving to a lap setting right now for the brake service. Brakes are not actually applied yet, by the way. They're just in a kind of a lap service. I haven't put any air in the system yet. Now we're putting some air in. I'm coming in a little fast. I was just bringing it back because it was about just giving me the overcharge notice. I'm probably going to overshoot again, aren't I? Look at this. Let's get this into reverse. Get ready to move. Oh, no, I'm good. I'm good. Never mind. We're on the platform. This will do. Arrival at Charlton after a little bit of panic there. Platform number 2. Leaving Charlton, our next stop will be further ahead. We're going to be going via the Webster Junction Track 2 section. And it doesn't actually show us what our stop is. So we're going to bring this up. Our next stop is Worcester Union. And just if you want the distance, that's 13 miles away. There you go. So this is a downhill section where it was advised to use dynamic brakes. I'm just going to go ahead and ease off the speed as I get into 40, see what the downhill speed increase is. It might not be enough to warrant me feeling I need to use dynamic brakes, but we'll see what happens. Okay, let's take it off. Oh, it's not going up at all. Now we're on a 1.0 gradient now. We are gaining a little bit. It might just be possible to fight through the loco brake on this. Let's find out. Gonna put that on a running setting, by the way. So just a tiny bit of brake in there, air, a little more. It's not working. No, it doesn't work like I hoped at all. Okay, I see why dynamics are advised. Well, I'm going to try and learn something today, guys. Into neutral we go. I'm going to go ahead and tap my brake indicator, which is going to show me I'm in motoring 1. And I'm not finding dynamic brakes at all, so I'm not sure which buttons control them. I honestly don't know. What's going to be amusing? Let's just use the local brake. We're going to monitor with the local brake what we're going to do here. I already did read the dynamic brake information, by the way. It doesn't actually say, and I don't have the manual in front of me right now to tell me, it doesn't say how you do the dynamic brakes, and I've never been able to get them work. I tried Stephen's Pass before, which I still need to show you, by the way, and I've never been able to get the dynamic brakes to work. So I don't know what I'm doing wrong on them. I need to actually learn how they work for some of these U.S. routes, because U.S. trains tend to use air brake systems, and they have dynamic brakes built in so that you don't waste the air. I need to figure that out. For now, I'm just going to pop a little air off on the other brakes here. So we're coming down to Rockdale as our next platform. Webster Junction is still our target. We are very early for Webster Junction. That's boding well for the rest of our journey. Although you might notice I didn't give you a train tour on these scenarios either. I didn't have time. There's another scenario. We'll try and do it on the other scenario at some point. It's still downhill after this, so I'm going to drop it down to below 45 again. There we go. We're still about 77 seconds early. We're only on a 0.4% gradient right now, but that is going to increase again. I see it is still downhill up ahead, so I suspect it's going to increase. In fact, there's a 0.6 right now, so it will increase. I think I'm starting to lose too much time. I'll put a temporary notch 1 throttle on. And now a notch 2. I want to get back up to about 43, 44. Apparently I still have brakes on. Do I? Oh, I see the problem. I didn't have the throttle on. The reverser on. Whoopsie. I was assuming I wasn't going to have to apply any more power, so I put the reverser into neutral. Okay, I'm good enough now. The reason I did that was to prevent an accidental throttle application I didn't want, but of course what happened is it prevented a throttle application I did want because I forgot to change it back. Some trains actually lock the reverser in place if you are going in a certain direction at a certain speed, so you can't pull the reverser into neutral. I get why. We are due past Webster Junction by 14:30 according to our timetable, if we were not delayed. You mean we were due? English is hard, apparently, guys. Perhaps we can make up additional time before Worcester. Well, we'll try. And yeah, we're on a 0.8 gradient again, so we are definitely gaining speed again. Back to neutral we go. Whoops. Let's put that brake on. There it is. Oh, I panicked for a second. I thought that was something. But no, that was just a good thing. We got our points. Moving along. So we're currently going to be early, which is what I want to see. I don't know how much extra time we would be able to make up here. I'm sure there are people who are able to drive this right at the speed limit and get it right on time. Maybe a minute behind, based on the original timetable. I'm sure it is possible to bring it back completely to the original timetable. And I did notice there are scripted closing messages in the scenarios, depending on how well you do. Now, I don't believe it means you fail. You actually have a failure if you're actually still 1 minute behind schedule by the delayed timetable. The absolute latest we can be is 14:43. That's the absolute latest we can be. But if we get there at 14:42, 14:41, whatever our original timetable says, then I believe it's scripted to say, oh, you made it right on time. Very well done. And then if you just get there a couple minutes behind, but still before the scripted time on the timetable that we have, they'll say, oh, you're still a minute or two behind schedule, but you know what? You did the best you could. And then if you're behind that, you basically fail. Best way to put it. So you have a scripted ending, and the actual messages at the top of the scenario properties file show you what those ending messages could be. Some have 3 or 4 messages in them. And it's all scripted. So we're moving to a 55 up ahead. For that reason, I think I'm going to go ahead and put the throttle back on for a moment, even though we are in a downhill. I'm going to make sure we stay around 45 and above. I actually expected we would be getting a bit of an increase by now on a 0.6, but now it's going to a 0.7. We're definitely going to get an increase now. So let's take a quick peek at the map just to show you where Worcester is compared to the rest of the map. If we go over here, there's Worcester. You can see that we are coming along the track down here right now. Worcester is right up here. We still don't get to see any of this over here towards Boston. We still don't get to see any of it. So that is how long this route is. This was 80 minutes of driving between the first part and this part. We're still an hour and 20 minutes in. We're only about halfway across the route. Maybe a little over that. So none of the scenarios cover the entire route. It's just too much driving. Now, there are people that do like that kind of thing and do want the extra driving, but typical scenario completion times tend to be around the 60-minute range maximum, and 90 is the absolute maximum that I've seen in scenarios by DTG in the odd case. But they typically go for 45 to 60-minute maximums now. It's enough to get a good taste of it and have a challenge while still having the ability to complete it. We're now 3 miles from Union Station. I'm going to consider starting to slow down in a moment for more than just the downhill. We have an uphill actually coming up as well, so going to see how much we can actually maintain our speed in the meantime. We're hearing something. That was not me. That's what it probably was. So we're on a 54 mile per hour speed right now. I'm hitting 55, so minor Minor break here should be enough to finish this up. I wanted a little stronger than that, but I'll have to take that. I may have to do another one. Oh no, our gradient is smoothing out. 0.3%. Perfect. Coming up to Hammond Street. We do have some uphills now, but we also have a 25 coming up. So we're going to be laying our speed drop for the 25. I will definitely have to apply a bit of a brake for that. Our ETA is doing splendidly, though. If you want to do something you shouldn't do, and if you really want to try to brake an Alco, you can slow down by putting this into reverse and hitting the throttle. I don't recommend doing that, but I'm sure it works in a game setting. So there's Worcester Union Station up ahead. There is, of course, track beyond it because it's not a terminus. I'm sure there are terminus tracks, possibly, but it's not actually a terminus of the entire route, at least, what I'm getting at. That's Boston. Boston will do that. Slowdown is happening nicely, but not nicely enough. I'm going to put the brakes into a... I got the wrong brakes up. There we go. Into a lapping situation. I'm going to put some air in now. I am going to need a little more, I think. That'll do. That will definitely do. Actually, I need a tiny bit more, so quick local break there will get us the last little bit. We're down to 25. We're in good position right now. Let's keep going. We're now within 1.5 tenths of a mile there, so we're going to put a small little bit of air in. I'm a little late on the air application. And now I'm putting too much air in. Release. We're going to use the local brake to bring it to a stop from here. May not be advisable, but you know, I'm new to this train. I'm going to have to read up more on how to drive this train properly. We're going to try a different train next time, though, on Tuesday. So we are in the platform. I'm just going to go ahead and bring it to a stop wherever. And this qualifies as wherever. Arrival at Worcester Union Station, B&A 2. There we go. Let's look at the train as we finish. And the spines at the top of the Union Station towers pointing to the sky, touching air. That's the end of the second part. I hope you enjoyed the ride on the Berkshire, I believe is what it was called. And we're going to move into a different scenario, assuming that this is not being published on Tuesday, which I hope it isn't. And assuming that's the case, then yeah, you're going to get to see this scenario. Another scenario on Tuesday in that case, because I'll have time to record it. And I do want to record a different train this time when I do it. Oh, that is the platform. Never mind. I thought that was open ground for a second. Ballast that she was walking on, but no, that was the track. That was a platform. So that's all good. Anyway, yeah, I actually enjoyed this drive. I want to see the Boston side, so I'm going to try and find a service coming to or from Boston this time, because I want to see on Tuesday a service from that side, if I can find one that is only one part. The other scenarios are the other scenarios are 3 and 4 parts, so I'm going to have to kind of come back and do those in one run, I believe, and do them as a full series. Unless I decide to do a really, really long video, just record them all at once and just bring it out one day as a surprise, and hey, there's your video for the weekend. Take your time. I may do that with the 4-part one. I haven't decided yet. Maybe even the 3-part one. I may do them as one video. But I want to show these two as 2 separate parts because, obviously, makes sense. We arrived almost on time. See, this is what I talk about scripting. A little early, we would have been on time. Close enough given the delay. Another crew will take our train on to Boston South Station. So we should get our 1,000 points, I would say, based on that. Let's go to the score. There it is, Berkshire Part 2, 1,000 points, 0 experience. Again, because I probably am playing it before the files were turned on to do that. I should have put a save in after I stopped at the station. That would have helped that, perhaps. Anyway, yeah, 2 scenarios done. And as you may remember, if we go back to the career tab, which I'll do very quickly here, and I think I'm already on the tabs. There we go. We get our 2 stars, and you can see that we still have the FA1, which I've seen a lot of reskins for on Railworks America. I'm very interested to see the train here, and I'm going to have to see if I can get those reskins for something someday too. And of course we have the H600. We've been driving the PA, and we also have the RS3, which also has a lot of reskins on Railworks America. Virtual Railroads did the RS3, I believe, and they have a version on their site and a version on another DLC, or it might just be a standalone DLC actually on Steam, not on a route itself. I don't know if this is the exact same train. If it is, the reskins might work on this one as well, but some things may have to be reprogrammed to point to certain things on this version as well. So I don't know the details behind that. I would have to take a look to see. And any scripting elements, I have no clue what to do with. So I'm not even going to try to fix it. But someone who knows may want to try putting some of those RS3 reskins onto this route, and they might work on this route. Railworks America, you got a job to do if this works or not. Otherwise, big deal. We can use them with the standalone DLC just fine, or with the one on their website. And they will work just as well. They're already programmed to work with those. Maybe new ones will be done with this one. Who knows? Anyway, that's enough blabbing from me. I hope you enjoyed those 2 scenarios. We're going to go ahead and see more of these next time. So what we did today was the Berkshire. And what are we going to do next time? Well, I don't know, because I'm going to be doing a single scenario next time. I'm trying to say I'm going to do the big ones at a later time. This is what I mean by I might do it as one video. It'd be a nice long video to do this as 160 minutes or 140 minutes. This would be a 140-minute drive all the way to West Springfield Yard from, I presume, oh, it is Worcester to Springfield Yard. There you go. So that's what you would get on the FA1, a nice long drive in 4 parts. And if you do add up again, 50-40 is 90, 45-15 is 60. Actually, 150 minutes. So I still did the math wrong. Math on videos is hard. 150-minute drive. Like I said, that may just be one big long video. Not on Tuesday. That is not happening. Not on Tuesday. But I will try and may do that in the future just for fun, because this is actually a nice little route, and I'd like to see that drive the other way. I do want to get Boston, though, and I am looking at New England states. This is the Boston to Worcester. So, yeah, this is perfectly the other half of the route. 60-minute drive. You know what? I think New England states westbound is the next one we're going to do. That looks like a very good option. That would be the same train, unfortunately. Let me look at the RS ones for a second. Just says Framingham local. First commute. Actually, you know what? I have to check where Milford is. I might do trains 404 Milford local or Milford local instead. I'm undecided. It'll be between New England states and continuing with the PA train, finishing it off actually, in which case I'll have to give you the train tour. Or it'll be the train 404 Milford local. I'm leaning towards doing this one only because then I can complete one train in one shot. That might be what we do. Whatever I do, I'll see you next time for it. It is going to be our 3rd and final video for now, and so we can go into another route and do something else. And like I said, I want to do some Train Sim World content as well, so assuming I do the Rio Grande, I'll do a week of that, and then I might finally have the guts to do some Train Sim World for you. I've been doing a little bit of practice in that game to get used to how things work in that game. I want to go ahead and do some Train Sim World 3 for you, just to show you the difference. Now, keep in mind, it doesn't run perfectly on my system. Nothing in this game does either, to be honest with you. So I would have to possibly have a little bit of stutter here and there. I do plan for Train Sim World also to have to be a bit more quiet, so I can edit out any real large gaps, and that I can just come on as I pass stations, things like that, and tell you what's going on. So I may actually change the way I do things for Train Sim World, but for right now, you're still going to get me talking between stations and talk about what's going on, because that's what I do. So I'll see you for the next scenario, probably New England States westbound next time. Whatever it is I do, have a wonderful day, evening, night, whatever it is for you, your part of the world. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell to know when I post that video as well, exactly. And I'll see you for that. I'm Cyclone. Bye-bye.